So now we're on to our next part of the town hall. And, it's been 2 years since COVID started. And
that's amazing. 2 years. It's
2
this
years.
week, right? Or today?
We were here 2 years ago in the office, celebrating, doing our thing. And we got the word that we were going to have to pack up and leave. And so everybody got their computers and we all said goodbye and thought, oh, I'll see you in a week or two. And, here we are. We started the town halls and we've been doing them now.
Number 90.
Number 90. And so our next guest has actually helped us quite a bit through all of this. And he's part of the SMA family now. And we're so happy to have him back today to put some smiles on our faces, make us laugh, do some fun stuff. So without further ado, I want to turn it over to Collin Moulton. And Collin, over to you. Happy St. Patrick's Day.
Happy St. Patty's Day, everybody. Come on, unmute and come with me. Let's do this. We got our green beer. Everybody got your green beer? I always thought that Celtic art was the stuff on the sidewalk out in front of a pub at 2:30 a.m. It's abstract at best.
Oh.
Yeah, history with Collin. History with Collin. Welcome to History with Collin. History, here we go, canoodle and Google and make it so some will claim that he don't know, but we don't care because he's our bro. Thank you for joining me for another episode of History with Collin. Hopefully you'll be doubling over with laughter today. No? Okay. All right. With any luck, this will be wrought with wisdom. Do you know the difference between wisdom and luck? One is clever, the other is clover. Huh?
Oh.
All right. Okay. Enough with the garbage. Okay. So listen, I've learned through these deep dives, this is very valuable to me doing this stuff with you because I've learned over time that history is built on all of our holidays in history are built on procrastination and lies. And that's what I've discovered doing these deployments, I guess. But unmute and come with me, you guys, so I can hear you. Chuck, I want to hear you. You live in Florida, so I got to hear you laugh. I'm going to make fun of Florida at some point because that's just where humor goes now. So it's lies. It's all lies. St. Patrick died in the 5th century and procrastination because the first celebration didn't take place until the 1700s, which established Ireland as the most procrastinating country in Europe. Even more procrastinating than Germany, who all through the 30s was putting off dealing with that little Hitler problem, and they should have got most procrastinating. But no, Ireland got it for this. And the first St. Patty's Day parade didn't even happen in Ireland. It happened in St. Augustine, Florida, Chuck.
Really?
Whoa.
Yes, it did. Yeah, leave it to Florida, man. To
the original spring break
holiday from another continent that isn't even celebrated on that continent to get an entire city drunk in the street. So St. Patrick was also born in Britain, not in Ireland. He was English. Did you know that? He was British, and he was reportedly enslaved by Irish raiders.
He was Scottish.
What?
Scottish.
No, well, he wasn't Scottish. He was British. It was he was from England. He was from England. See, it's all lies. It's probably Scottish. He probably was from Iowa. So, but the page I got when I Googled it was that he was from England. And well, anyway, the point was he was enslaved and by a and sold to a Celtic priest. What could go wrong there? So. He lived there for six years, and then he went back to England, and then he came back to Ireland as a missionary, which we all know that's true, right? Is that all true? No, that's all lies. This is the truth. That's all lies. He made that up. Here's what historians now believe, that he left England to avoid the family business because his father was a tax collector for the waning Roman Empire, which I don't know if you guys have ever been a tax collector for the waning Roman Empire, but it's a death-defying profession because if you can't come up with the taxes, they'll take it out of your ass. So a lot of good reasons to move to Ireland and drink green beer with leprechauns. Lies. So here's what I think. And don't, you probably think I'm cynical, but I just think people told a lot of lies before the internet because there's no way to prove or disprove any of it, right? Everybody has that. Don't you have that story in your family? Like my great granduncle lifted a flaming tractor off of a sick puppy with a hangnail. And yeah, which everybody knows that story, but it's not, there's no way everybody had the same giant, powerful, uncle that could do that. That's a lie. It probably was, he just kicked a tricycle at a neighbor dog or something. And then it just got out of control because there's no internet, right? It's all lies. What's more likely, that every man in 1924 could defeat a mountain lion with his bare hands, or that we're all liars? Because I've seen the lie thing. I haven't seen the mountain lion or the flaming tractor. So don't think I'm cynical, because here's the deal. I have fun facts. St. Patty's Day is not the first holiday to center around green beer, green alcohol, colored alcohol. Valentine's Day was actually the first. They used to do red beer. They dyed beer red, and they would celebrate with red beer until 1929, when Bugsy Moran and his crew got hit. 7 of them, massive mob hit called the Valentine's Day Massacre, and then red beer just became kind of gross to everybody. So they switched it back to Chardonnay and loneliness. Cinco de Mayo tried brown beer, and that was just fermented refried beans that were liquefied into a drink, and that lasted about 2.5 hours. Then they switched it to tequila and lime, and that's when that holiday really took off. So another fact, the leprechaun. Do you guys all know the leprechaun? So I'm going to give you a little info about the leprechaun. They originated from a Celtic belief in fairies. In Celtic folktales, the leprechaun is a cranky soul who's responsible for mending the shoes and clothing of other fairies. So leprechauns were the wardrobe department of the original RuPaul's Drag Race. Its original name was actually Loberkin from Celtic, which meant small-bodied fellow, or Tom Cruise, or Danny DeVito. There's so many dialects of Celtic that it had many meanings. Some ancient dialects even translated from Celtic literally to AJ Patel. Small-bodied fellow. We see AJ there? Are you out? I don't see. Was it just? Are you there in your leprechondo? Okay. The shamrock was called a seamroy by the Celts, and cannabis by the Jamaicans. The Irish considered the shamrock a sacred plant that symbolized the arrival of spring. The Jamaicans considered cannabis a sacred plant symbolizing the arrival of morning. Every morning. People of Colorado consider cannabis a sacred plant symbolizing the arrival of farm-to-table restaurants and bearded 25-year-olds and an influx of tax money.
Yeah.
Do you agree that cannabis has forever changed our culture, our icons, like farmers? I'm 50. If you say farmer to me, I picture a guy in flannel with like suspenders sitting out in front of a feed store and talking about milk cows, and don't get that, talk about weather, spit tobacco. And I do it again tomorrow. Pick up, don't make milk cows, no spit tobacco. Hang out with my friend. So yeah, that's what I see. You tell my son, farmer, he sees dreadlocks and AR-15s. Different time is the point. And so modern culture shifted everything. Third generation farmers still exist. Last New Year's, I hung out in Wisconsin with a third generation horse farmer. His great grandfather built the house that he lived in, that his father lived in, then grew up in, and that he grew up in, and they all had the same horse farm. It was just amazing, this history, the rich family history, and it was just so cool. And I thought, wow, what about when the tech community has that kind of historical footprint? Like hundreds of years from now, when a girl comes to her father and says, I met a boy, he's a 4th generation web designer. His great grandthay was a famous coder.
Yeah.
And designed MySpace profiles on Dreamweaver. It's exceptional, the history. It's all lies. Listen, here's what I think. I think in the defense of the historical liars, time maybe was just moving faster, and there just wasn't time for truth. Because they say time moves slower and it's moving faster now. I think it was moving faster back in the day, because every story my mother tells starts like stories where I get hurt start with her turning around for a second. Just for a second, just turn around for a second. And he fell down, broke his arm, was whisked off by caring neighbors, surgery, rehab. And then I turned around, fixed my drink and everything. So yeah, it was different in the 70s. So maybe that's, and also they didn't have the internet. My mother didn't have the internet to check the veracity of her medical diagnoses of me. So I just always had whatever weird syndrome she read about in Reader's Digest or whatever. When we finally got health insurance, it was a $10 copay. So I had an appointment every day after school with the doctor, and I had everything from chronic hangnail syndrome to childhood onset dementia. So I think it's common to humans. This is all common to humans. The lying is common to us. We'll keep doing it. And we do keep doing it, even with the internet. COVID. Everybody lies about COVID. Everybody blames everything on COVID. Have you noticed that? Where are my Taco Bell people? Taco Bell is the worst offender. Have you ever eaten the grilled cheese burrito? It's amazing. I went to get one the other day and they go, "Oh, we don't have them anymore." And I was like, Why? And they said, "Because of COVID." Ingredients as the other burritos. So anyway, just keep lying and have fun with it. That's what St. Patty's Day is all about. And I know that I love you. And this has been another episode of History with Collin. Thank you very much. Woo-hoo! Enjoy the lies. Unmute. Hey, and I'm also not going anywhere either, because we are doing trivia. We're doing trivia next, right? Are you going to introduce it?
Yes. Well,
or am I going to introduce it?
Well, we can introduce it. Yeah.
Okay,
so
and then
Collin
I'll do it.
Colin has we're going to do Irish trivia, and there's going to be 9 questions, excuse me. And everybody, this is the honor system. So write down the answers, and there might be a prize at the end.
Maybe.
Okay. Are you guys going to run the scoring? Because I can't run the scoring.
Yeah. Don't worry about it. We're gonna let people. We're gonna trust people on
it's
this
honor system.
We'll talk about it at the end. But yeah,
It's the honor system.
Yeah.
Well,
all right. Okay.
Right after
Good
your
luck with
bit about
that.
lies.
After my recent display.
Yeah.
So we'll get started here. Go ahead, Collin.
You guys unmute so we can hear your laughter and voices as well, and your comments, but don't say the answers out loud.
Yeah, just write them down. Yep.
You just write them down in the chats, right? Or just
no.
Just write it
don't
down
write them down in the chat. Just write them down. Think them really hard.
Write it down in your head.
You're gonna go through the answers at the end. That's what we're doing.
I'm gonna go through the answers after every question. Okay, here we go.
Oh,
here we go.
Right.
Kissing the Blarney Stone, number 1, is believed to confer what? Think about this. Believed to confer what? It's not the Blarney variant of COVID. Although kissing the Blarney Stone would definitely give you the Blarney variant of COVID. It is also, I was there once. I went to Ireland and I kissed the Blarney Stone. I got herpes simplex 1.
Yeah.
So it's not that. It's not that. Or MRSA. That would be my guess. So just keep writing, keep thinking. Does anybody have an out loud guess they want to make?
Locker. Gift of gab.
Gift of gab. That's right. Very good. Wow. It is gift of gab.
On it. Yeah.
Excellent work. All right. Number 2. What traditional musical instrument is the logo of Guinness? Think about your breakfast. Think back to breakfast. If you drink every day for 30 years, it's a violin because of the sorrow in your life, but that's not the answer. For me, if I drink a bunch one night, then the next morning it's the butt trumpet, but that's not an official instrument. We've all had a bad case of butt trumpet. Hey, Chuck. Okay.
Absolutely.
So, yeah. So on the can of Guinness, you have the instrument. It is the traditional instrument called what?
The harp.
The harp.
Exactly.
That's right. They're harping on the gift of gab. So far, we have a theme going. Harping on things and gift of gab. Number 3. What kind of fairy screams to warn of impending death and disaster? The news fairies. It's not the news fairies, although they do that. Wolf Blitzer is in the Situation Room. He's not a fairy, though. Officially, he's just a little fella, but he's got a lot of bad news. But screaming of death and disaster, and you could think of the expression, right? Screaming like a what?
Banshee.
Banshee. It is Banshee. Correct. So if you got that one, you are correct. Keep your own score. Number 4, fellow liars. Here we go. According to the old folk song, what was Molly Malone selling in Dublin besides a false narrative? Okay. If anybody guessed Bitcoin, you were incorrect. Bitcoin was not developed yet. There was a blockchain. There was a blockchain shamrock scam going on. That's where shamrock came from. The word sham is the root word, and that was a form of crypto at the time. Cryptocurrency, they called it because it was a plant. But all right. So what was she selling? Anybody?
Cockles and mussels.
Who said that?
Dick.
That's Dick.
Dick, of
Good
course.
job, Dick.
Cockles and mussels. You said it just like you wrote it in the song. Dick's probably got cockles and mussels in his refrigerator. I just ran out this morning to get cockles and mussels.
What is a cockle?
I
Yeah,
don't
I
know,
was
but I'm
wondering
not
that too.
sure we can talk about it here at the
A little
show.
shellfish.
Maybe a late night show.
A little shellfish.
Shellfish.
A little shellfish. Yeah, sort of like me and my marriage. Just a little shellfish. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Number 5. What gives the Purple Mountains in Kerry their beautiful color? I have a guess on this one. LSU fans, because I don't know if you know this. They actually travel to the mountains of Kerry each year, all the LSU fans from Baton Rouge, and they right before the big homecoming game, and they descend on that mountain, and it's just a big purple sea of bad choices. So that is not the official answer. The answer is a woman's name, and it is not Violet or Lily.
Heather.
It is
Get out of here.
Thank you. I'd like Dick to officially say all the answers because of his accent.
Clearly he's going to win.
It's Heather.
You probably
It is
will.
Heather. All right. Name the famous kind of glass made in Southern Ireland. If you ask my mom, it'd be pint glass. 4 years ago, for me, it became reading glasses. Neither of these are correct. The Banshee, in her pessimism, would say it's the glass half empty. Death, destruction. Ah! So write down your answer. If you have it, here we go. Dick, what is it?
I don't know.
Waterford
No.
Crystal.
I was going to say, what is it? Waterford?
It's a crystal, Dick.
Waterford
Waterford
is the only thing I can
Waterford.
think of. Is it Waterford?
It is Waterford, and I'm glad you knew it, because if you didn't, I was going to have you move from your native land. You're going to get your dual citizenship revoked. All right. Which fierce warrior in warriors invaded Ireland during the 9th and 10th centuries? Social justice warriors. You are incorrect. That is not it. Although that'd be funny. The brewmasters did descend on Ireland, and through unconventional warfare got everybody drunk and took over, but then they just joined them, so they didn't defeat them. So what fierce warriors? And Dick, you know this one. Your country was also what was it?
I would say
Village.
Vikings.
Vikings.
But it is the Vikings, correct?
The Vikings.
You've probably got a little Viking in you.
I think
I
I do,
bet.
actually, yes.
Bet you do. Okay, so number 8. If you were eating a boxty, what would this be? And if you guess anything that doesn't have potato in it, you'll be asked to leave SMA because your top profile just dipped to 20%. If you didn't guess that there's potato in it, there is potato in it. If you're eating a boxty, what form is that? What is that? What are you eating? Dick, do you know?
I think it's like a potato pancake.
It is a potato pancake. Do you know how it got its name? Because it tastes like a cardboard boxty.
That's right.
But I don't know as a British man if you'd even notice. So here we go. Number 9. Name the famous Irish actor who played James Bond. And it's not Danny DeVito. And it's not Shaquille O'Neal, although he has a very Irish name. And would be probably the best Bond ever, by the way. I support him as the next choice. It is who?
It's Brosnan.
It is
Absolutely.
Pierce. Thank you, Dick, because a lot of people want to say it's Sean Connery, but he is what? Sarah?
Scottish.
Scottish. That's correct. All right. Number 10, multiple choice. St. Patrick's real name was Marion Sart, Marin Sukat, or Patrick Ewing. If you guessed number 2, Marin Sukat, you are correct. All right, number 11. How did St. Patrick use the shamrock in his missionary work? 1, he gave it to the pagans to cover their privates. Number 2, to teach them baseball, because it looks like a baseball diamond. Number 3, he mashed it up, fermented it, and they all got drunk and forgot why they were there. So he taught them what he wanted. Or the Holy Trinity. It is the Holy Trinity. It is number 4. Thank you, Darren. Okay, good. And number 12, our final question for the day and our final lie. Where is the world's shortest St. Patty's Day parade? Does anybody know this was a trick one?
My
It's
house.
not Rhode Island, because you would probably guess that due to a lack of space. They would have a very short or a very curly parade. But no, it is not Rhode Island, and it is not Florida. Although Florida did have the second shortest due to the alligator attacks, they couldn't be out there that long on the street drunk. Does anybody want to take a guess?
Boston?
Did you say Boston? No, the shortest, the world's shortest. That's probably one of the longer ones. Shortest one is in Arkansas. It is 98 feet. It's measured in feet. I'm not even making that up. Apparently, they're just doing it for the beer. So once they get there, they leave. And it's about a 98-foot walk to the parking lot. So anyway, thank you very much for being with me for History with Collin. Love you guys.
Thank you, Collin.
Thank you,
Collin.
We'll see you soon.
Okay, so if anybody, we're on the honor system, anybody